Hello and welcome to Treasury Notes, a financial education program from the West Virginia State Treasurer's Office. I'm your host, Gina Joins. The West Virginia State Treasurer's Office offers a variety of programs designed to improve your finances, from college and retirement savings to recovering unclaimed property. State Treasurer John Perdue and his staff also make strides to educate the people of West Virginia so that they may make better financial decisions today, tomorrow, and for years to come. Coming up later in today's program, we'll talk with the Deputy Treasurer of Financial Education, Tom Vogel, about the office's efforts to prepare students for their financial future while they're still young. But first, we want to talk about another Treasury Office program designed to get students thinking about their future, the Smart 529 When I Grow Up Essay Contest. This year marks the 12th year that West Virginia students in kindergarten through 5th grade will be writing their essays in hopes of winning up to $5,000 toward their future college expenses. We kicked off this year's contest with an event at Edgewood Elementary School in Kanawha County. Kim Ward has more.
I want all students to have the opportunity to go to school, and the opportunity to earn money is just a bonus.
Principal Mays isn't the only one excited about the prospect of giving students a boost to their college savings plans.
I want to get money from my savings account because I want to go to West Virginia University College. It's like a dream that I've had. Honestly, I've wanted to get my doctor's degree.
For over a decade, the West Virginia State Treasurer's Office and Smart 529 have been helping children dream big and save for their future with the Smart 529 When I Grow Up Essay Contest.
Well, this is always an exciting time when we kick off this essay contest because it's benefited so many students around the state and schools as well.
Since the When I Grow Up contest began, almost 30,000 contest entries have resulted in 165 student winners. That adds up to more than $132,000 that has been invested in Smart 529 accounts for students around the state.
We've had thousands of West Virginia students enter the contest to make a difference in their life, what they're dreaming about to change their life.
As a 4th grader, Sydney has been dreaming about his future for a while now.
At first, I wanted to be a boxer until I started getting interested in school, and I really want to be a teacher.
Principal Mays was excited to kick off this year's When I Grow Up Essay Contest at Edgewood Elementary School.
I think sometimes not all students have the opportunity to hear somebody say this is something that you can do, and so hearing that today is important. They get to see what they might be able to achieve when they get older and follow their dreams.
Treasurer Perdue looks forward each year to hearing what these young students are dreaming of.
It is really impressive to be able to talk to those kids and listen to them about what they're dreaming about being a biologist or whatever it might be, how they come up with that at such a young age. And that tells me that we're making a huge difference out here in really encouraging these kids to continue to dream, because you never know what doors is going to open up for them, and they are the future leaders of our great state.
The When I Grow Up contest not only encourages our future leaders, it rewards our student leaders of today. One lucky teacher will win $2,500 by entering an essay outlining how they plan to use the contest in their classroom. As for Sydney, he's got his eyes on the prize, but when asked what he would say to other students with the same goal, he is already taking a teacher's lead and encouraging them to strive for the prize as well.
I would want to say, good luck. I hope you win too.
Reporting for Treasury Notes, I'm Kim Ward.
We have lots of winners. Well, joining us today to talk more about the kickoff and the 2019 essay contest is Edgewood Elementary School Principal Amanda Mays. And Principal Mays, thank you first of all for allowing the Smart 529 program to enter your school and kick off the When I Grow Up essay contest. And thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
I want to go over the winners of the When I Grow Up essay contest, how they can receive an investment in their future. Right now, there are 15 regional winners that will be selected at the end of this contest. Each of the 15 winners receives $500 invested in a Smart 529 college savings account. There's also a $5,000 grand prize as well, and that's one of the 15 will receive that grand prize. These are some pretty major awards for these children in grades K through 5. So tell us how this award can possibly be life-changing for your students.
I think it just opens the doors to possibilities for them that they may not have explored before.
It's definitely something that, as you said, they may not have explored this before. Are there students that you know of that have 529 accounts, or do you think that there's room for growth in that area?
There's definitely room for growth. You can never be too prepared. College is expensive.
And as I said, each child will win $500, all the 15 regional winners in the 529. Also, the school receives a $500 cash prize. How would a prize like that benefit your school? Could you kind of walk us through what $500 would mean to Edgewood?
We have about 500 students at our school, so the $500 could open up different opportunities for them. We have a project-based learning project coming up about economics, so we would probably use that as money as seed money for them for their different economics adventures that they choose. Every classroom will choose a field to go into, something to create and distribute to the other students so we can teach them supply and demand. So we would let them use that money to start out their businesses.
That's great. And since this contest began, the program has awarded more than $130,000 in Smart 529 scholarships to students around the state. As an educator, how does that make you feel knowing that so many children around the state have that opportunity to benefit from this contest?
It makes me excited. It makes me excited for them. It makes me excited for the future of West Virginia. I can't wait to see what they do.
And I noticed when we were out at your school for the kickoff that you already have a billboard up with the students and all the different grades saying what I want to be when I grow up. Can you talk a little bit about how you're going to use this in the classroom and how your school is really embracing this concept?
Sure, it's a school-wide activity, so all of the students in kindergarten through 5th grades will write their essay or get help from an adult to write their essay about what they want to be. And then there's a classroom winner. The classroom winners all get to read theirs on the news, on our news show at our school. And then there will be a winner from each grade level, and they'll get posted on that bulletin board in our entryway.
And so when you say there will be winners from your school, you've actually, as a school, have taken the initiative to promote your own winners within the school so that even if you don't have a statewide winner, one of the regional winners, you'll still encourage that in the school and you will still have many of your students walking away with some type of prize.
Right, and this kicks off our career cafe, so our career days will be coming up the following week. So this just jumpstarts that for the students to be thinking about their future, and then they get to speak with people in hopefully the careers that they're considering.
Do you think it really helps build some confidence and create kind of a culture of success for the students to have that opportunity?
I do. I think it creates a huge opportunity for these students, for them just to think about what is out there, what could I do, what could I achieve. So hopefully they start in on that direction.
A great opportunity for your students. I also want to take a minute, though, as we talk about this contest and talk about everyone statewide participating. It's not just an opportunity for the students. It's an opportunity for your teachers who teach at Edgewood as well and around the state. The teacher portion of the essay contest is they have to write an essay about using their experience in teaching this lesson plan to students around the state. They can win up to $2,500 cash. And I want to clarify, a lot of people when they read that, they think, oh, well, they have $2,500 for the classroom. No, it's $2,500 for that teacher. They can use as they wish. It's their money to do with whatever they wish. So tell us about explaining that to your teachers, if there's been a lot of excitement, if they plan on participating. I'm sure they do.
I have several planning to participate. As soon as we had the kickoff and they had heard about the teacher portion of the competition, they were all excited, and I have to say there was some smack talk.
So it's really getting down and dirty down there, right?
Yes.
So you guys are going to really compete for this. And
Right.
It's one winner statewide, so good luck to all your teachers, because I think that's a great incentive for them. And it's a sense of pride, too. Even if they don't win on the teacher essay portion, just the sense of pride of having possibly being able to produce a student winner is also another accomplishment, I'm sure. All right, well, have you set a goal for the students and for the staff when it comes to the essay contest?
Everybody is expected to enter the competition at the school level, and so parents have to complete their portion of the entry form as well. So we've sent out information. We have Class Dojo, which communicates to the parents digitally. We put it out on our Facebook page, so we're promoting it every way we know how so that they will participate, so they know what prizes available, and hopefully one of our students will win. It would be a great opportunity for them.
I'm glad you mentioned that there is a parent component to this. The parents do have to sign off on the entry form, and that's across the board. So we want to remind people, if you're watching out there and you want your child to participate, it's not enough that their school is participating. You have to sign the form. You can go to smart529.com for more information for the application, and if your school doesn't send it home, you can do this as an independent activity as well, because the contest isn't just for public schools around the state. It's for children who are homeschooled and private school. Anyone can participate as long as they're in K through 5. And it really fosters a sense of getting that conversation started about what they want to be, achieving dreams, setting goals. Talk about the steps that you encourage when you're talking to your students and the teachers about this.
We always start with brainstorming. What would be your ideal setting every day? What would make you happy if you could do it every day? So we want students to grow up not just to be an astronaut or a teacher or whatever it is they choose. We want them to grow up to be happy. So we jump off there with what would make you happy. And with some it's video games, or some it's cooking, or whatever that happens to be. That's where we want them to start, is what makes you happy, and then work toward, so what can you do to contribute to society that you can also be happy. So we kind of start from that perspective.
And you mentioned things like video games, different things in that genre. We've actually had a lot of winners in the past who have taken that interest and that thing that makes them happy and turn it into what kind of profession can you associate with that. And we've had all sorts of things like comic strip artists and a teddy bear workshop person, I think, was one of them. So they really can get interesting. Are you excited to hear what your students have to write, what they decide to write about?
I am super excited. We've had several say they want to work at their favorite restaurant, which is McDonald's or Wendy's right now. So several of them just go with what they already know, which is fine, and we are just excited that they have a goal in mind, but we want them to expand that, which is one of the reasons we want to participate in the competition, just to get them thinking about other things that maybe they hadn't considered before.
And the competition is twofold, really. You're getting them thinking about what they want to be when they grow up and what the steps they're really going to have to think about to get there. But you also get them to start thinking about saving for higher education and the fact that college or some type of higher education after high school is obtainable. Talk about that portion of instilling those values in the students that you teach.
We always talk about college and career ready, either or, and we talk about the different paths that you take. So some students will go to college, some students will not, some students will go straight to the workforce, some will go to vocational school. We just want them to know those opportunities are out there.
And there are a lot of opportunities. And again, we want to stress to people that the Smart 529 College Savings Plan may be used for technical, vocational schools. So it's not just for college savings, it's for education savings. Students have until February 22nd to get their entries in for the 2019 When I Grow Up Essay Contest. Contest rules and the essay application can be downloaded again at smart529.com. And I'm sitting here talking with Principal Amanda Mays at Edgewood Elementary in Charleston. Do you know if your students have started writing their essays yet? Have they given you any indication?
I don't think they've actually started the formal writing, but they are brainstorming right now, and I talk to them every day throughout the day, but especially at lunchtime, and they are all excited to share all of their great ideas.
And I'm sure there are going to be great ones out there. And again, how many students did you say you have at the school?
About 500.
About 500. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot of competition out there.
It is.
We wish all of your students a lot of luck, all of your teachers a lot of luck. Any final thoughts on Smart 529, the program and the contest, before we go?
We're just excited. We're glad that this is an opportunity for all the students across the state. I think that it opens up some opportunity for our parents that may not have considered it before. So even if their student doesn't win, maybe they will consider opening an account just to plan for the future.
And I know you said that, there's a little bit of friendly competition going on with the teachers. Do you have any friendly competition words you'd like to speak to some of the other schools out there? Give them a little bit of a challenge.
I think they may have their work cut out for them. Our teachers are really working hard. So.
All right, sounds good. Well, as I said, we wish you all a lot of luck, your students and your teachers, and we hope to see a winner from Edgewood, maybe a couple. Thank you so much, Principal Mays.
Thank you.
And again, you can read the complete rules and information for the When I Grow Up essay contest and download that application on smart529.com. We're going to take a quick break right now, but when we return, we'll be switching gears from higher education to financial education in West Virginia schools. We'll talk more about that when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Treasury Notes. I'm your host, Gina Joins. State Treasurer John Perdue puts a lot of time and energy into providing financial education for all people in West Virginia. But perhaps some of the most important education initiatives from the Treasurer's Office are the programs serving students in West Virginia. And joining me now to talk more about these initiatives is Tom Vogel, Deputy Treasurer of Financial Education for the State Treasurer's Office. Tom, thanks for joining us today.
You're more than welcome, Gina.
Well, we appreciate having you here because there's really a lot to talk about when we get on the subject of financial education, especially from the Treasurer's Office. And I know I want to kind of take a step back and go early in Treasurer Perdue's career. He saw the need for financial education, and he stepped up to really become a national leader on this effort. Kind of geared him to eventually create the Net Worth program, and it is designed to teach personal finance skills to West Virginia school children. Tell me a little bit about that program, how it's evolved, and where we're at today.
Sure. It actually started about 11 years ago, that actual program, even though Treasurer Perdue did have some programs before, like Women and Money, it was called, and Bank at School. But the Net Worth program started, like I say, about 11 years ago. He got some funding through the legislature, and they brought teachers in from all across the state of West Virginia. I believe all 55 counties were represented, and they did training over the summer. They got compensated. They wrote lesson plans, which were eventually put on the State Department of Education's website. There were games developed, activities developed, and that's where we are today. We have taken this to new heights. We're getting in all kinds of schools, and it's just a fantastic program.
And I mentioned that he really has been a national leader on this. I wanted to mention that the program was nationally recognized, receiving an Excellence in Financial Literacy Education Award, which is an Eiffel Award from the Institute for Financial Literacy. That really does say a lot about the Treasurer's efforts.
It does. A lot of people don't realize West Virginia actually is, if not the leader, one of the leaders across the country as far as states where the Treasurer's Office, or in fact any institution, any group, is providing financial education into the schools. It's become a huge issue across the country. As you know, I think the 2008 crash, if you would, really caused more people to start to think about financial education and how our students today really didn't know very much. And Treasurer Perdue was right out in front and got it started, and like I said, it's just taken off.
You mentioned that the Net Worth Initiative started with some funding from the legislature. That's no longer the case. There's not that state funding component anymore, but the Treasurer's Office does work with the West Virginia Financial Education Foundation to help support some of these initiatives. Talk about that partnership.
Well, that's a group that's brought together. There's bankers on there. There's lawyers. There's other people involved in financial education. And they have a group together. It's an independent, not part of the state, not part of the Treasurer's Office. And they raise money through banks, through insurance companies, through financial investment firms and so forth to help fund the initiative to put on the game, because it's not a free thing. I mean, we have to provide materials. There's a lot of materials that we provide and take out to the schools.
And okay, so you said the game. I want us to
Right.
take a step back and let's talk about the game, so to speak, which is truly a budget simulation. And that is the big showstopper right now for financial education out of the Treasurer's Office. It's a program called Get a Life. Explain to us how this works. We've featured Get a Life on this program many times, but it's a fantastic program where students in middle school really have an opportunity to see what their parents go through on a monthly basis.
Well, it's actually started 10 years ago. We're in our 10th year. Last year we did over 100 schools, over 10,000 students in 1 year. But what it is, it's a hand-on simulation where the students, they start off by saying you're 27 years old, only have a high school degree. And then you go through and you buy a house, get your monthly payment, buy a house, buy a car, groceries, you've got to get some furniture, you go to the doctor's office, you buy gasoline for your car and so forth. Each state, you go around and do it. And because you only have a high school diploma at that time, the students start to see, because they have big thoughts in their mind. They're buying a more expensive sports car or a Hummer, a bigger house, and they go bankrupt.
Sure.
And because they go bankrupt, they're kind of upset or whatever, but then we throw a little curve on them and have them go back through it again, but this time with some education beyond high school, whether it's vocational training, whether it's apprenticeship through a union, whether it's a 2-year college degree, 4-year college degree, a doctorate. And now they have a new income, they go back through, and the interesting part, even though they have more money when they go back through, they're more cautious on the car they buy, on the house they buy and all that. They don't want to go bankrupt. They want us to be able to survive, if you would, and have some money left over, maybe even buy a second car.
Yeah, and Tom, I always love hearing your stories about the reactions you receive from students and the treasurer receives from students when they've gone through this budget simulation, which I should point out there are lesson plans that can be attached to this as well. So it is a great opportunity for the schools to get involved. But talk about the reaction of some of these students.
It's amazing. The students will come up and they'll say, boy, I didn't realize what my parents were going through. Or, boy, I understand the difference between what I need and what I want. And like I said, the best story I heard was a young man at the middle school. Now, middle school's only, it was 3 years. Well, he was in his 4th year at the middle school. And after going through this program, he stopped the principal and said, it's about time. You brought something in there that made sense. That one event, maybe it doesn't affect everybody the same way, but it turned that young man's life around, got his grades up, went to high school, went through high school at a normal time, and went to vocational training school after that, and he's successful today.
Some great stories.
Absolutely.
And makes you proud to be part of the program. Speaking about being a part of the program, it's not just the Treasurer's Office who puts this on. It goes on with the help of the parents and the community volunteers. So talk a little bit about that 3-pronged approach where it takes the Treasurer's Office, but then it also takes the students and the volunteers to make this whole thing work.
Absolutely. You actually won't work without the volunteers. Each game, the effort is to have 25 community volunteers. We would love for a car salesman to be at selling the cars, a real estate agent at the real estate table. It would be nice to have a nurse or a doctor or somebody at the doctor's table, insurance agents. Because what it does, it also sends another message to the students how important this is, that the community volunteers come in. They see these people in the community working at the stores or at the doctor's office or insurance, like I said, and they actually come in and the students have a different understanding. It's more important to them than just a regular school activity.
And I just want to remind people that if you want to volunteer for a Get a Life event at your local school, or you want to bring this to your school, go to the website, wvtreasury.com. Under the Education tab, there's a ton of information about the Get a Life budget simulation, and you can be the person who helps bring it to your school or helps recruit some volunteers. Talking about the benefits of the program, of course, the immediate benefit is they get that kind of introduction into what a budget is, but they also learn some basic math skills and problem-solving skills, and it really helps them in some of their other curriculum. Is that correct?
It absolutely does. Helps them all around. And like you mentioned, some schools do other activities. For example, after it's over, an English teacher maybe have them write about what they learned in that and what do they want to do in their future. Or the math teacher can do different budgeting activities. There's so many different things that occur, and the fact that we do it in the middle school, the 8th grade is where we line up to, and that's because at the end of the 8th grade year is when they pick their curriculum they're looking at in high school. We want them to understand the importance of education beyond high school before they ever get to high school, so they can set their curriculum in line with that. So not only financial education, it helps them set up for their future.
And Tom, you're a veteran math teacher in the school system here in West Virginia. Talk about what the impact is of this program and why you think it's important to have something like the Get a Life program in West Virginia schools.
Well, I think it wakes the students up to the understanding of math is more than just adding and subtracting or multiplying or solving equations. Math is the thought process, the problem solving ideas. Plus, it gets the students to understand that math is part of their everyday life. And like you say, as a math teacher for 33 years, it's important for them to get the understanding how important math really is.
Right, and you hear all the time students saying, oh, algebra, calculus, I'm never going to use these skills. So to take some type of math and put it in a way that makes a student realize this is what you need to know.
Oh, absolutely, and math is more involved in people's lives than they ever thought. And they don't realize that sometimes until they're out of school and they say, boy, I wish I'd have learned more of that. So math is important, and you know, I get on my soapbox about that too.
Well, before you get on your soapbox, we have about 2 minutes left.
Okay.
I just want to take a minute to see if there's anything else you want to add or just say about this program, because I know it's so special and I know you've devoted a lot of your time to it over the past many years.
Well, what I would like to say for the people out there watching, if your son and daughter have not been involved in the program, or you don't think your school is involved, ask your school. Call the Treasurer's Office. Hey, we went over 100 schools last year. We've already been to 67 this year. We need to get in every school as much as we can, at least as much as we can, try to get in every school, to let every student in the 8th grade mainly, but to get that experience, to go through this, to get that understanding. So please call the Treasurer's Office, talk to your school, see if they get involved.
Every child should have that opportunity. Thank you so much, Tom, for joining us here today. And again, I just want to give that number, 304-558-5000, if you'd like to call the Treasurer's Office or visit the website at wvtreasury.com for more information on the Get a Life program and the Smart 529 program. That's all the time we have. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Remember, you can always get the latest news and information from the State Treasurer's Office. Follow us on Facebook. We're also on Twitter. And of course, as I mentioned, our website. Keeping you informed on the Library Television Network, I'm Gina Joins with the West Virginia State Treasurer's Office.